I have no energy left in my soul. Man, if I didn't catch myself, there would have been my life.
Leaving the hostel, dogs were barking all night. Headed to go get coffee, and then headed to the expedition to hike up Acatenango. Doggo for the. Okay, breakfast. Try our best.
I want to preface this video by saying that this hike was one of the hardest physical challenges I have ever done in my entire life. I'm a pretty physically fit person, I like to think. I work out 6 days a week. I'm always on the go. I thought this hike would be fairly easy for me because I had a lot of hiking stuff in the past when I went in California. I'm from North Carolina, so I did a fair amount of hiking there. You know, I was just another person. I'm like, okay, you know, we're gonna be going up for quite a long time and, you know, it's gonna be fine. There's altitude, but I didn't really have experience with altitude, so I didn't really know how it felt to be in a position where altitude has affected me. So this was kind of a learning curve for me. When I got there, I first learned that this was going to be a 6-hour hike. And I was like, I thought to myself, I said, well, that's a long time. I didn't think that it would take, you know, that long to get up to the top of this thing.
Minutes, and then for all those clients that already booked for Volcán de Fuego, you have to get ready with warm jacket, headlamp, a bottle of water, 2 snacks, and then walking sticks. And you're going to walk for like another hour and 30 minutes to get to the viewpoint of Volcán de Fuego. The viewpoint is 3,570 meters, and you guys will be 500 meters away from the eruptions.
And so then I started mentally preparing myself that this thing was going to be harder than I thought it was going to be. Before I even got on the trail, I saw the entrance to the trail and I was like, okay, like this looks like any other trail. I started looking at the people that were coming down off of the trail, finishing. And none of them that I recall looked happy. None of them. Not a single one. And so I started getting a little worried, a little anxious, it was fine. I put myself at the front of the pack, you know, because when you do that, the people who are more experienced push you, and so you kind of feel in competition with them, so it makes you kind of get up and keep going. So I put myself at the front of the group. I was cooking.
I just started. I'm already out of breath. It's been like 5 minutes. We did like a group stop. I'm doing okay. Following these guys. They're our leaders. So, step by step.
Tiene que aclimatar. Go to the bathroom.
Okay, so there's so many hikers. Like, this is like the thing to do when you come to Antigua. So many hikers, because it's very popular. But yeah, I don't even think we're at we're right at the beginning. It's 11:16 and we only started at 10:50. So the view is great though. Kind of a little cloudy.
Going along, I said, okay, this isn't too bad. Then I started getting to a part where there was barbed wire fence on both sides of me. And it was narrow. It was like a one-person only lane with the barbed wire. And there were multiple people coming like off of the mountain, and then we were going up, and it just wasn't a great situation. And I was like, okay, this is kind of scaring me at this point. Why is there barbed wire lining the trail. Like that kind of, I felt like cattle, honestly, in that moment.
It's pretty crazy. Okay, I'm stuck in wind now. But check out this view. Yeah. This is a massive hill. It's freaking crazy. Sweating buckets. By the way, if you ever have to go to the bathroom during the hike, it's gonna cost you money. Of course. It also costs you 50 bucks or 50 quetzales to even as an entrance fee, but it's for your tour guide.
I researched it a little bit, and going on this hike by yourself is actually illegal. You have to go with a tour company. Otherwise, you could risk the chance of getting hurt or caught, and you'd probably be fined, or I don't know what the rules are in Guatemala. Not even half of them have a driver's license. Like, you don't even have to have a driver's license to drive a car or a motorcycle's license. Anyways, I was like, okay, you know, I'm a little tired, but honestly, the view is so pretty. Like, it's okay, it's fine.
We are at cloud altitude, so we're literally in the clouds.
Come on.
Hey, yeah. See. All right, clouds. Embrace the suck, I guess. Shit, this is pretty tough.
Few more hours passed. I started panting. I was like panting. My legs were kind of cramping. We were like 3 hours into this thing, and I was like, this is crazy that we're not even like halfway there. We had a guy, I think he was from China originally, and he had a watch, a Chinese watch that you can't get in America. They're banned, apparently. I don't know the whole hype around it, but this watch could tell elevation, and he would tell us how far we were in elevation from like our goal, 13,000 feet.
It sucks. Hour and a half more to go to get the base camp. And then from there, another hike, an hour, 15 minutes to Fuego to see the volcano. So, sun came out, made everything a bit worse. I'm dying. I really am dying. I'm second. But the view's great. Yeah. Embrace this suck.
Mind you, we kind of missed our marker because we thought it was the day after, because on the day and the dates, it was flipped, because in Spanish, the day comes first and then the month comes second, and then it just kind of gets confusing. So regardless, there was extra positions in this trip, and so we were able to go on this trip still, pay extra. We had dietary restrictions, so it was like a shoot or miss, you know, like, and it was a lot of carbs, which was fine, you know, for what I had for lunch. I could not eat it. It was some cheese sandwich and like meat. I couldn't eat it. So I packed a lot of snacks, mangoes, candy, quick things that I could eat that could give me quick energy, because I was going through my energy like nobody's business.
No one else dropped their phones, please.
There's so many hikers. I'm so exhausted. Almost there. It's getting flat now. At least a little flat.
I'm glad I wore hiking boots. My boots were like leather, but they were like lightweight, and it was nice. The temperature gets cooler the farther up you get in elevation and up the mountain, obviously. But they didn't have enough jackets for us, so I was jacketless on this volcano. I kind of had to make do with a lot of layers. I brought a rain jacket, I brought a scarf, I brought a sweatshirt, and I brought like 3 t-shirts. We get up to almost the top, and I'm dragging 6 hours later. We're above the clouds, but the clouds are everywhere. We get to camp. Camp are these little like shipping containers on the side of a cliff. And so are the bathrooms. The bathrooms are these little shacks. No porta potties, actually worse condition than that. I bought altitude sickness pills from the pharmacy in Guatemala. Had to Google Translate to them what I needed, altitude pills, and they like sold me this thing. So I was kind of banging on like them selling me the right thing. But I took it, and those things, pretty much I didn't get altitude sickness at all. Well, you can do an extra hike to Fuego, 4 extra hours to Fuego to get a closer look at this active volcano, the 3rd most active volcano in all of Central America. Obviously, I paid for this. I'm getting this experience. I'm not gonna, pussy out essentially and not go on this hike. But the clouds were in the way. The clouds, they're like, it's looking like it's going to be just cloudy, and if it's cloudy, we're not gonna be able to see anything. We can hear it. We can hear the volcano. Like it was loud. We were unsure if we were gonna get to see the actual volcano. Most of us were like, well, if I'm paying $40, I wanna guarantee that we're gonna see it. And then the tour guide's like, okay, well, if you wanna guarantee, we're gonna get up at 2 a.m. in the morning, hike down, and then up to Fuego. You'll be guaranteed to see lava or the volcano exploding. All of us agreed. We said, okay. Had dinner. It was pasta, just carbs. Just really carbing it up. But I had like 2 pastas because I was like so hungry. I was freezing. I was cold. I had my hat, I had my scarf, I had my rain jacket, sweatshirt, another layer. Like I was freezing. I had thin pants, but that's all I had. These shipping containers fit like 10 of us. So we were all 10 of us sardine styled into the beds together. It was just crazy. 2 a.m. rolls around and I am exhausted. I wake up, I feel fine. I know I'm about to go do a 4-hour hike, so I take another altitude sickness pill. I thought I brought my water bottle. I did not. We were hiking down. It was this slippery volcanic ash mixed with rocks and jagged, like you were slipping and falling everywhere. And mind you, we were in the pitch black dark. We only had our headlamps. We couldn't even see where the edge was. This was honestly so terrifying to me because I was like, one wrong move and you're literally slipping down the whole mountain. And actually, I was using the bathroom. And on my way back up, my foot slipped in this hole and it broke off this piece and my foot went right into the hole and like I was going down. And then I caught myself. I was like, man, if I didn't catch myself, I probably would have kept rumbling down this whole volcano and there would have been my life. I was taking every precaution not to slip. I rented hiking poles. Those honestly saved my life. If you're doing this hike, get the hiking poles. They come in such handy, honestly, to rest on, to lean on. Those things are gonna be your best friend, especially going down. They like stop you, they help stop you if you're slipping and falling, which is most likely going to be happening. So dehydrated, I was like double over and just like, I was like, yo guys, like I need somebody's water. The tour guide hit like some of his water. I got some water from some other people. I was like so grateful. I was like, oh my God, these people are really saving my life right now. Because, you know, I have no self-service. I was mentally freaking out because I couldn't see the end. I was just alone on this volcano. I mean, yes, I was with a group, but like, you know, essentially I was alone and I was freaking out mentally inside my head. I'm like, I can't do this. I have to go back. I can't physically do this. I was able to self-regulate myself. I was able to talk myself down. I was like, okay, you know, if everyone's here doing it, you can obviously physically do it here too. People on freaking Instagram, TikTok and everything, whatever, can do it, you're gonna do it too. Then, you know, so we got down, I was tingling, like my face, my entire face was like tingly, but you know, going down helped. And then all we had was like just staring straight up at this volcano, Fuego, that we were about to hike. I wanna say this up part was the hardest thing that I've ever done physically. The hike to Fuego is physically and mentally exhausting, more exhausting than getting my butt up Acatenango. This was the hardest part. It was Fuego. I'm staring up at this volcano. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I can make this. Like I'm so dehydrated. My muscles are cramping and sore from literally yesterday, hiking 6 hours. So I was going up this thing and I was like, oh my God, I like literally can't. Like I had to stop frequently because it was 2 a.m. I was exhausted. My body was screaming at me. And so then I get up to this Fuego and I see this volcano and I see it erupt and it's dark and you can see the lava and it's beautiful. It's wonderful, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just put my phone in my pocket too.
What?
All right.
I'm sorry, it's done.
But in the moment, I was like, oh my God, I am about to die. My body is physically about to give up on me. Like I can't. And I'm freezing cold because I don't have a jacket. I have my layers, but my legs are freezing, but I'm also sweating at the same time. And it's like every second that I stay up there on that volcano and I'm not walking or doing anything, the sweat is drying and I'm becoming more and more cold. So I'm seeing this, I'm like, yes, that's a beautiful volcano, but like, I literally just want to go back right now. Like, you know, but we sat there and we watched it and it was honestly amazing. You could see all of Antigua and like the lights and it was so beautiful. It was so cold though. And I was like so exhausted. It was really hard to film and take pictures, but I was like, I need to do this because I know that if I don't, I'm gonna regret it. So I was like forcing myself to take videos and photos. I was really grateful. I was like happy that I did it. You know, it was a much closer view that you can get to the volcano, and the explosions were just beautiful. Some of them were baby ones and some of them were really big ones. I sat there for a little while, and then I heard these two people were going back, that they were like cold, they couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hop on the train because they were like, yeah, if you wanna stay another hour on here to watch the sunrise, you can. And I was like, I've seen so many sunrises in my life. I don't think I want to stay another hour, freeze, have my muscles stale, and get up and then hike back down and then hike back up again. I don't think I want to do that just for a sunrise. So I took the plead and I hiked back down this slippery, rocky, but like also there's nothing to hold on to volcano. And so it was just the three of us. We were hiking back. On our way back, you know, the sun was rising, but it was like cloudy. So I was like, even if I did stay that extra hour, it would have not really been worth it because the clouds just rolled in and it didn't really show the sunrise very well. Then I got back to base camp. I was like, I literally have no energy left in my soul. I was like, I think I'm just gonna stay here and die on this volcano right now, because after that 4-hour, that took everything in me. I was so drained, mentally, physically, like I was just so out of it. I was just mad that I put myself in this kind of position. I was like, I'm over it, I'm done with it. I just wanna get off of this mountain. And I had a few extra hours recovery time because I left early to rest. And then we went back down. I frankly didn't film a lot going back down. That is because I was so focused on not falling and slipping on this volcanic gravel, if you will, that was the texture of this hike. I was falling and slipping so many times, even with the poles. The tour guides like to run down this volcano. You're kind of just hiking by yourself at this point. They like to go really fast, and I was not going fast at all. I got up this mountain, I was second. I'm going to take my time going down because I just hiked 4 hours already at 2 a.m. I'm not running down this volcano. And there was a couple parts where I did actually physically have to run, because if you stopped, you would have started sliding because it just didn't work. So you kind of had to run. And my knees were screaming because when you go down such a steep incline, all the time, and you're jamming your legs into the ground and then trying not to fall and slip, your lower back and your knees take the blow. And honestly, I was just so mad. It's I just need to get this over with.
Yeah.
The end. The fucking end. Oh my God.
I would say it was awful. It was the most physical challenge I've ever had to do. Even a marathoner said that it was the hardest thing. It was worse than running a marathon. If that gives you any justification onto how hard this hike actually is, and really to be prepared, not only physically, I was prepared physically, but I think it was more of the mental challenge that I really had to overcome here.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you.
How are the eggs?
Oh God.
Yeah.
the aftermath of hiking the hardest volcano or any hike in my life or any physical activity. The hardest thing I've ever done. So good. That is so cool.
By the way, might I add, there are so many people hiking this hike. There are so many groups going. I didn't even know how popular this was until I started the hike. There were so many hikers, so many people doing the same hike. And this is the result that social media has. Like, you were running into people. That's how many people there were doing this hike and this volcano thing. Like, it was insane how many people knew about this hike. That was my Acatenango experience. If you want to learn more or, learn the plans and the structure of how this trip went, I have all those details on my Patreon page. So if you want to go support, there is a link down in the description below. Also have my Amazon affiliate links. So all of the things that I have, camera gear wise and hiking and all this other stuff, you can also find down there. It gives me a percentage. It doesn't cost you any extra. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you decide to go hike this volcano, good luck. Bring a lot of water, and because altitude makes you thirsty, and also be prepared for your face to be tingly, your hands to be tingly, and your feet to be tingly, because that is all a part of the altitude. And get altitude sickness pills. I think everybody on the trip had altitude sickness pills. I didn't really feel sick at all on this trip, but I did feel like tingly. So just be aware of what your body could do with the altitude. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace out. Enjoy life. Live it up. I'll see you guys in the next video.